Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Aji Shafe. Time to look at the world of sport as we start from the home scene, talking about handball. Our team really doing well over there in Congo. Congo-Brazzaville is the place to be right now, as the boys really did well over there in Congo. Now we start with handball story. Team Nigeria, the handball team under 18, under 20, actually they did well by winning big over the weekend. Sorry, on Monday. They are a good one for the fact that they were able to do it. And right now they won the game 51-30 and also 28-22 in their challenge over there in that sport called handball. Good one for Team Nigeria. Really, the both teams Ireland, they've won, at least one of them won 2 matches and the other one won 1 and lost 1. Talking about handball competition taking place in Brazzaville. I have in the studio Jide Olushola. Good to have you.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be here again.
Yes, our boys right now, they bounce back, although not the two of them. They're under 20. They lost their first game just by 2 goals. And now yesterday, they were able to do well by winning this second match. And also the under 18 seem to be having a winning streak right now, 51-30. That was a huge one.
Yeah. So that was against Madagascar. And that was a very good one, 51-30. That's about close to 21 points difference there, about, yeah, I'm correct. So it shows that our boys are actually very doing well, and it's something that we need, because these are the people that will go into the senior team and able to defend Nigeria in of course, the senior competitions. So I'm glad. Then the other 18 as well too, of course, they also get the other 20 as well too before they get the senior team, and they also did well too. So it's something of pride to see that the Samuel Ocho board, led board, because he's one of the few presidents I really adore, because they have been, himself and the Udalle president, they
Nimrod.
Yes, Musa Nimrod. They've been doing very, very well in the last few years. So I'm proud of what the Handball Federation is doing, and they've been keeping these boys intact, both the boys and the girls anyway. They're going for different competitions, just keep them on top of that game and everything. And just any competition that's on board, they just going for it, and they do very well. So it's something of pride to see these our boys doing us proud against the African brothers on the stage.
Well, right now, we hope that the boys will continue to do well when it comes to the sport of handball. Over there in Brazzaville, Congo, they've done well, winning their second matches now. That is them too, winning against the likes of Madagascar and also doing well against Congo. They will still be playing against Zambia and also Zimbabwe today in another quest to see how they can win this IHF trophy challenge taking place over there. And right now, we just believe in them that they will continue to do well in handball. Why are we talking about our boys under 18, under 20 doing so well over there in Congo? Well, at home here, it's not too rosy. Let's talk about the handball representative. That is the player representative right now. FCT court, High Court sacks Joseph Udalle as HFN players rep, orders fresh election. Well, while boys are doing under 18, under 20 in Congo, well, another one was happening in Nigeria. We just hope that we get it right when it comes to sport in this country. Well, court sacks Joseph Udalle as HFN players rep, orders fresh election. Well, that particular issue actually started from 2021. Sam Abwa, the claimant, now has been given that opportunity that at least a fresh election will be conducted. Let's look at the excerpt from that court ruling that actually came up in Abuja. Talking about the court ruling now, let's look at what the court actually rolled out in that particular proceedings. And FCT High Court sitting in has nullified the players' representative election for a place on the board of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. Ruling on the case filed after the said election in September 2021, the trial judge Justice Alfred Okpe upheld that the then Secretary General of the HFN, Alhaji Mohammed Megida Sama, had no power or legitimate right drawn from the Electoral Code to by himself draw guidelines or modalities for the election of both players and technical representatives for places on the HFN board. HFN is Handball Federation of Nigeria. Based on this, it ruled that the processes leading to the election of Joseph Udalle of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the defenders, was flawed, defective, and void. The court then gave an order for a fresh election for a new player's representative in strict compliance with the existing rules and regulations, be held within 30 days. The court also awarded as damages the sum of 500,000 naira in favor of Sam Abwa, the claimant, and against Alhaji Megida Sama, the immediate past Secretary General of the HFN. Jide, looking at this particular scenario, we just need to get it right.
It's just so sad that sport matters always end up in court cases, and we shouldn't be, because sometimes I wonder if they don't have any legal department that guides them through before they take any major decision. And it's just a slap, just a dent on the image right now that they're having to drag a matter for over 2 years, just getting resolved over 2 years. You have seen
in 2023 from 2021.
Yes, so let's say almost 2 years. You have seen football, you have seen athletics, you have seen so many federations going to court over, elections. And all this just boil down towards elections, that I'm in charge, you're not in charge, But then it is okay now that the court has waded in and has given their order, which I believe the HFN board will respect, and other fresh election. Probably now Sam Abua, of course, who instigated the whole
proceedings.
Yes, now has a chance again now to see if we can actually
win.
Yes.
By the time he can actually start, maybe the Joseph Udalle will also be saying, okay, let me go for this. Let's find out who can actually contest. Both of us, let's fight for this. And
they're all contesting for the player representative, okay, which is good, so that they can fight for the right of the players, on the board. But then, dragging this matter to court, it's something that just baffles me. I think sometimes this thing can be sorted out in-house. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Let us take it. But that doesn't mean that they should now breach the law. If there are guidelines on ground, why don't they follow the guidelines? And just like the former Secretary General Alhaji Magadasama, why would he not try to abrogate powers to himself without going to the
normal process? Yes, the legal process.
So I blame him for the error.
That's the former secretary now.
Yes, General. So I blame him for the error. I don't know what he was thinking for him to have gone that route. Instead of to go through the normal guidelines and everything, but by and large now, I'm glad that probably now this will be resolved, and we'll wait for when the next election will come up and see that this whole matter is. Luckily for us, the crisis did not even generate like the way NFF matter was,
yes.
or even the
This
FN.
is just like one of the board members,
yes.
HFN, that's players
so it was a minute case that did not blow out of proportion, that will probably bring the game into disrepute. Just we saw with the other.
It's not about the president, it's not about her.
Just one person.
But this one is actually very important. You know why? The players, they are the golden...
yes, but their interests need to be protected on the board,
yes.
which is very fine, which should be in every federation. But because if they don't, the other board members can ride them. But if their player, whoever the players trust, that okay, you're going to represent on this board, they believe that that person will
be able to fight their cause.
Yes, fight their cause. In case they don't cheat them, no, you cannot. So I think the players want it's just a matter of okay, we trust this person, go ahead and do the job for us, and that's all. But thank God that the court has waded in, and let's see how this pans out in the next. I don't know when they're taking the election, but I'm sure they'll sit down and plan where they'll take elections. And whoever wins now, that he has won by clean. And you should get the job done for the players, that's all.
Hopefully, let's see what's be happening concerning the HFN players representative, where court actually ruled in the favor of Sam Abua that the fresh election should be at least conducted, and also awarding some amount of naira to him there. Well, from there, let's talk about the women football now. NWFL Match Day 7 fixtures. Matches are going to be played today. Talking about Women League now, NWFL Match Day 7. Let's look at the fixtures. Those games that will be coming up in Group A and B. Well, first of all, let's talk about the women now. While we're looking at the games that will be happening there. Bayelsa Queens versus Delta Queens. The Samson Siasia Stadium, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Heartland Queens, Oshun Babes. That's another match that will be coming at Dan Ayam Stadium in Owerri. Royal Queens versus Rivers Angels. Sapele Township Stadium is the place to be. Still talking about the Match Day 7 fixtures. Group A, that's now. Let's look at the Group B now. Nasarawa Amazon versus Abia Angels FC. That will be coming at Upper Aku Stadium, Makurdi. FC Robo Queens will be playing against Adamawa Queens. We have them at Legacy Pitch in Surulere, Lagos. Ibom Angels versus Confluence Queens, Gosula Pabio Stadium. Those are the places where those matches will be coming on. Let's go back to Group A now. Jide, look at these matches that will be coming up, and you look at the fact that the ladies are really progressing. Match Day 7. Of
course, my pick is going to be the Bayelsa Queens and the Delta Queens because of they are rivals. They are almost like a derby game, and we want to see how Bayelsa Queens, of course, will able to defeat Delta Queens. It's a very tough game for both sides because it's always very difficult when those two set of queens come together and play against each other. But looking at the Heartland Queens and Oshun Babes have not been doing too finely in the league here. But I think looking at the Heartland Queens, It's going to be a very tough one for Osun Babes because the Atlant Queens are playing at home, and Osun Babes, they'll be wobbling and fumbling in recent games and everything. I don't know what is wrong with the Babes. Maybe they're not being taken care of. But the others at Royal Queens and River Angels, the River Angels, they are a very big team. They're the biggest, should I say, one of the biggest female teams you have now. And Royal Queens, they have a whole lot of work to do, against the champion, Rivers Angels. I know, and of course, the River Angels, they are pumped up with the Wiki money, so they are ready to.
Is it Wiki money or River State money?
Of course, no. you know how Wiki has been doling out cash to this to the teams. Rivers United, Rivers Angels. You know how it has been.
It's Rivers money.
Yeah, Rivers money. But of course, it's coming from Wiki's approving the money and everything. Yeah,
of course.
And Barrister Green, who is the Commissioner of Sports, I'm sure he's doing very, very well in that aspect too. So it's going to be a very tough call. I mean, very tough game for Rivers Angels. We do very well against the opponents.
Well, while we're talking about the NWFL, those matches will be on by 4 p.m. today. Well, from the way it is, all the clubs that will be playing are battle ready to face one another. Let the best team win. While we're talking about the Women Football League, quickly, let's talk about the National Youth Games. Federal government postponed 7th edition of National Youth Games. You ought to come up, that is with February, but right now it has been postponed indefinitely. Coming from the excerpts of that particular statement, coming from Federal Minister of Youth and Sport Development, the 7th edition of the National Youth Games, NYAG, earlier scheduled to hold in Asaba, Delta State Capital from February 8th to 18th, 2023, has been postponed. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, Sport and Youth Development rather, Alhaji Ismail Abubakar, stated that the postponement is due to logistics and time constraint, especially taking cognizance of the commencement of the general election slated for February 25, 2023, while regretting all the inconveniences the postponement might cause its stakeholders. A new date for the games will be announced after the elections. Well, right now, that's a particular
My question
competition.
Is, what were they thinking when they were fixing the dates for the LYNG?
Well, maybe they should answer that question immediately as you're asking.
Because the new elections was coming up, and Delta State, of course, the governor is also in the race. They should know that certain things will come up. We will not have time for these games, because all attention will be on elections. So why fix the games towards the election? But it's good they've called it. I mean, they've postponed it indefinitely, and let's see. Probably after election, out of if now anything happens and Okowa, of course, loses at an election, would it be motivated to host the games?
Well, let's not preempt that, but really, it's better they actually postpone it.
Better.
From the way it is now, at least it will still give all the athletes ample time to also prepare. But it's always very good for us to plan ahead. I remember Olawale Peter was talking about it sometimes back, that they shouldn't have picked February 8th to 18th. Yeah. It's wrong, really, because if you actually saw it coming, and now the postponement, hopefully the day they will be choosing will be favorable to all the participants. Talking about the National Youth Game, where we always want to catch them young, talking about talent in sport, coming from the Federal Ministry of Sports and Youth Development. And now let's talk about the men, the MPFL fixtures. Matches will be coming up today and also on Thursday. But quickly, let's look at the fixtures meant for MPFL as we look at those games that will be coming on. Shooting Stars will be playing against Kwara United by 4 p.m. Lekon Salami Stadium is the place to be at. That's at Damasiba in Ibadan. Gombe United versus Remo Stars. Pantami Stadium in Gombe, 4 p.m. El Kanemi Warriors versus Nasarawa United, El Kanemi Warriors Stadium in Maiduguri. Eyimba versus Aqua United, big match there, Eyimba International Stadium in Aba. Sunshine Stars versus Rivers United at Akure Township Stadium in Akure, Ondo State. Lobby Stars versus Enugu Rangers at New Jos Stadium. You have Abia Warriors versus Bayelsa United at Umahia Township Stadium in Umahia, Abia State, while Dakada play host to Wiki Tourists of Bauchi at Goswilla Pabio International Stadium in Uyo. That's for today, Wednesday, 18th January, and we look at Thursday. Some matches also be played. Quickly, let's look at those games that will be coming up. Bende Insurance will be playing host to Plateau United at Samuel Ogbomudia Stadium in Benin City, as Niger Tornadoes play host to Doma United at Amadou Bello Stadium in Kaduna. Those are the games slated for Thursday. But from the way it is right now, if we should go back to today's matches, let our attention be on all the games. Shooting Stars, Kwara United. This game is going to be a big one too over there in Ibadan.
Yes, it's going to be a big one. You know, Shooting Stars, you know, they are one of the biggest clubs we have in Nigeria. And of course, Kwara is not as big as Shooting Stars. You know, 3SC has been this game for several years. They've churned out stars who have played for Nigeria across the year. So it's going to be, and we see that the governor Makinde is also is solidly behind the team. He has given them every support, and now they're playing in the very beautiful stadium, so to say, and all that. So it's going to be a very good game later today. But then the pick for me is the Eyimba versus Akwa United. That is a very big one.
Eyimba Akwa.
Almost a debut for me. So I'm going to see the Warriors, you know, trying to see how they can, of course, clip Akwa United. But then Akwa United, anyway, the season just started anyway. And there was also Eyimba, of course. They started that season with a win, I think a 3-1 win, and so we see how they're going to pick up gradually. But it's going to be a very, very beautiful game. It's going to be a very tough game, and I think probably I'm tipping towards Akwa United to
win Eyimba, right?
Eyimba, yes.
Although it can happen because we've seen other, at least in their match day one fixture result rather, we saw how some clubs actually travel. We saw 4 away wins.
Yeah, and it is good for that because now that at least last season almost the same thing. You saw more away wins this time around compared to previous seasons, and which is good for us. No, not that at all win cost by the home team. So I think so it's going to be a very good game today, and I think most fans will be happy, you know, to see Eyimba. Of course, that I think how many times 7 or 8 times champion. You know, trying to prove their worth over a one-time champion, of course. But then it's going to be. I would love to see the game as well too. And again, I see Remo Stars because to me, I'm particularly interested in Remo Stars because of their level of professionalism as a club, and being the fact that this is a club that has everything going for them when it comes to infrastructure, the stadium, the players, you know, welfare, and everything. It's a club I would term the real professional football club in Nigeria and everything. So they'll be playing today, and you know, last season they did very well. You know, narrowly losing. They narrowly lost the chance to win the MPFL last season, and they got to Africa at the contender stage. Of course, out of inexperience, they crashed out and everything. But by and large, we saw how they played last season. They were an interesting crop, and I look forward to seeing them this season. Of course, doing better again, and they're looking at the kind of pre-season they've had, the training sessions they've had. I'm following them. I'm watching their training sessions online, and I'm impressed with the way they'll be doing. So I look forward to a beautiful game again when Remo Stars. Look out for those players for that.
Well,
team.
From the way it is there, coming from Jide Olushola, but really, match day one, so about 4 away wins. So it's possible that it will be happening live also today. The likes of Bende Insurance, Eyimba International winning their away matches. And who says another team can win away? It is very possible. Just like HFN also pointed that Nasarawa can also pick a win on the road. It is very possible because right now it seems a new wind of change is blowing in Nigerian Professional Football League that we just highlighted there. Well, quickly, let's talk about the FA Cup round display. A lot of matches that were actually played, but right now, Liverpool can smile home. They were able to defeat Wolves. Wolves have been kind of torn in the flesh, second leg, and it was a replay anyway, but they won. Courtesy of Elliott, who scored that goal for them. Looking at the result there, Forest Green Rovers, they lost against Birmingham City 2-1. You have Swansea City also losing against Bristol City 1-2 there. Wigan Athletic, they lost their game against Luton Town. What a way to go. Good one for Luton. Wolverhampton Wanderers, they lost against Liverpool. West Bromwich Albion 4. Chesterfield 0. 4-0 for West Bromwich Albion. Well, you look at Liverpool, the first leg ended in a draw. The second leg now, rather the replay. And they just have to do something. 13th minute, Elliott got that particular icing.
During the game, the lights went off in the stadium. when the Wolves were on attack. So there was this
little kind of
though a 2 second light. But we said probably the guy at the lighting system switched off the lights
mistakenly,
so that they were not crossing the ball and score. Because they were on an attack at that point. But on a lesser note, on a more short note, Liverpool I think they did not perform too well for me. But I think they are under pressure just to not, after losing so many games so far from the Premier League and everything, they just needed that win to give themselves a little bit of morale and everything. And the club, is under huge pressure right now. It might not be saying it, but as a coach, if your team is not playing very well, being a grade A coach, of course, you'll be under pressure. And this win now at least will release some little pressure on him and everything. So I was happy for Liverpool because they've not been doing too well. So having this win over Wolves, of all clubs who are very, very rugged, I think it was a deserved win for them, but they struggled to win.
Well, they struggled to win. Not only Liverpool that actually triumphed, we have the likes of Birmingham City also triumphing. You like Luton Town defeating Swansea. That's almost a shocker, but this is football. Swansea, I wouldn't know what's wrong with them anyway. But for Luton Town, to come and defeat Swansea, because Swansea is a bigger club, it's a bigger team than Luton. That's Luton defeating Wigan Athletic and Bristol defeating Swansea.
Yeah, sorry. So it's almost something that's it should not happen, but happened. But that's football anyway. So we cannot take that out. But good luck to the winners and good luck to the hard luck to the losers.
Well, that's football. Just talking about the replay of the third round FA Cup. Quickly, let's look at Spanish Copa del Rey result also as it went down. Sevilla. Well, we look at Sevilla, but also Real Sociedad winning their game. Good one for, it was like they actually crisscross it. Real Sociedad winning 1-0 against Mallorca, and Alaves actually being defeated at home against Sevilla. Good one for Sevilla. They were able to at least bounce back after looking at the way they've been performing so woefully in the Spanish La Liga.
In fact, the fans are already turning the heat that Sevilla must not go down, must not be relegated, because this is a club that has been in the almost the top 6, but then they're now almost at the base of the La Liga table. So it's something that, so having this win against Alaves, of course, it would be a morale booster for them going to the weekend for the league matches, because this is a club that has, they've won the Europa League back to back, They've done so well in Europe, but then now to be languishing at that position at the La Liga table is something that the fans are not used to. So it's almost like as if Arsenal is at the base of the table. It's something fans are not used to, but then having this win over Alaves, I think it will give them some morale booster. And Mallorca, Sociedad, of course, Sociedad is not a small club. Even though they always parade a fully Spanish players, but then they did very well. They got the results, and let's see how that pans out for them as for the next stage.
A good one there, talking about Sevilla and Real Sociedad being able to win their games against Alaves and also trying to see how they can at least upstage Mallorca. Right now, let's talk about Italian football, where it was a good one for Cremonese as they actually bundled out Napoli via penalty shootout. Good one for Cremonese there. Okereke among the scorers, and just have to give it up to the team that a lot of bookmakers actually tipped Napoli to win, but they never gave up. They were able to fight till end, and afterwards they scored all their penalty, and you have Lobotka not being able to score for Napoli, and that was the turning point for Cremonese as they won their game 5-4 on penalty shootout.
Penalty is anybody's game, and they hard luck.
But before the penalty, they play 2-2.
Yeah, but hard luck to Napoli. For Napoli, everybody expected Napoli to wipe them out, just the way they defeated Juventus, where we saw our star boy Osimhen running the show. But of course, the god of soccer was, in fact, Maradona Stadium, actually, the god of soccer was absent, was asleep.
For them to lose that game.
Yeah.
I think to some extent, not because if you look at the domination, you look at the statistics there, 70-30.
Yeah.
But it shows that Cremonese were ready. They never gave up, forget about statistics, just go there, do your thing, and they were able to get it.
If you lose, all good. If you win, all good for them. So that had nothing at stake for them compared to Napoli, who of course were leading the table, who are of course one of the biggest teams in Europe and even Italy. So for them, it was everything was against, was for Napoli. You just needed to win, and again, but of course, like I said earlier, the god of soccer was asleep. They pressed, they played, they had more possession, they did everything, but they were not just able to get that win. It's just what happens in football, and I would say hard luck to them.
A good one for Cremonese for the fact that they were able to win that game there.
I'm sure that's where they'll stop.
Well, that's from the way it is. They'll be facing Roma next, and good one for the life of Okereke and also Afena from the Ghanaian player who actually did well, scoring one of the goals there. Good one for Cremonese. No one saw that coming, that they were able to defeat Napoli, but they fought hard. Never ever stop believing in yourself. From there, we have to talk about tennis right now. Well, that's Rafael Nadal is out of the Melbourne, that is Australia Open, because of injury. He actually tweeted his hip, and right now he's out. He lost to American Mackenzie there. From the way it is, Nadal is out, and a lot of people are already calling that he should retire or not. But from the way, I'm sure he always know how to bounce back when it comes to tennis.
It's just unfortunate that sometimes this is injury, so it's hampered his progress. Yeah, Nadal is one of the biggest tennis players, and but once he gets this injury, it's probably it's not helping him at all. So I think he should just go for maybe just be away for 2 years.
2 years.
Of course.
By the time he comes back, he won't be able to do anything.
But 2 years, because he will get injured now. He'll be away. He will go for operation surgery. He'll try to.
That has been his style, and he has been able to amass all the Grand Slam he has won.
Retire because he's putting a strain on his.
But at least going for. I'm only trying to say 2 years. That would be too long for 35 or thereabout.
1 year absence just for it to put to release that pressure.
I'm sure. Just to be candid with ourselves, and is now looking at the way it is for the great players like Roger Federer, who right now is out.
Roger was
Rafael Nadal also should be at least getting to opt out from this particular game. A lot of people are looking at himself, and also Novak Djokovic is coming to little by little. Good one there coming from the stable of 360 Sport, and Jide Olushola has been the one talking. Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I am Adeniyi Ajishafe. Thanks for watching. Well, from the way it is.